Hello once again, Niner Faithful, and welcome back to another episode of 49ers Playbook on the channel that's trying to answer the whys and the hows of the game. This past Sunday, the 49ers had an extremely frustrating loss against the visiting Jaguars. At every turn, it felt like the 49ers were their own worst enemy. From bad turnovers to drops to special teams mistakes, the 49ers just could not get out of their own way. Credit an opportunistic Jacksonville team, but the 49ers don't have much farther to look than in the mirror for why they dropped their first loss of the year. We'll take a look at it all, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the plays that were good, because it wasn't all bad. But let's jump to the film and see how the 49ers were handed their first loss of the season. You're watching Johnny Dell's Football Academy. The game started out with missed opportunities as red zone issues continued, and specifically in the run game. This is a play we've run in the red zone for a long time. It's called Mike. It's the play we ran for a go-ahead touchdown against the Packers in the playoffs in 2023. This is a goal line run versus a 5-3 front. McCaffrey will attack the edge, then look to cut up where Trent Williams' inside foot is, so right about dead middle of the field. With this, Connor Colby and Jake Brendel are working a combo reading to the Mike. Whichever side of the nose tackle the Mike goes, Colby or Brendel will pick him up with the other staying on the nose. The play develops just how you want it, but Colby loses sight of who the Mike is. He sees the Sam or strong side backer, who is Luke Farrell's man, flash, and he disengages the nose tackle. This should be a lane straight to the end zone, but nope. The nose tackle is able to stop McCaffrey's feet, and it's a short gain. Just can't have these kinds of mistakes in the red zone. So now we're going to try a swing pass, which, as Bill Walsh used to say, a swing pass is just an extended handoff. You have a running back with the ball with 3 blockers. Here, Kendrick Bourne gets confused on who he's supposed to block and misses his assignment. This is another play that should be a touchdown. The lane is there, the blocking numbers are there, but it's another loss. Just inexcusable mistakes deep in the red zone. Then on the third play in the red zone, another missed opportunity. Here we're running a cheetah concept to the 3 receiver side, which is a now route as the number 1, a stick nod as number 2, and a stick China as number 3. To the other side, we're running a choice with Ricky Pearsall on a Skinner route and McCaffrey on a choice route. Jacksonville is playing cover 2 to the 3 receiver side and cover 4 to the 2 receiver side. I'm not sure why Purdy moves off the cheetah so quick. Juwan is taken away as the number 1 when the Mike sits, but he should have Braden Willis open in the back of the end zone. He moves on to CMC, which would have been there on a choice out, but the protection doesn't hold up. Whichever way we look at it, it's a missed opportunity. Then, after the defense gets a stop and the offense is moving the ball, Luke Farrell has a costly fumble that is then followed up by an explosive run by the Jaguars. The Jags are just running an outside zone, something we run all the time. This is poor lane integrity. Micah Williams needs to work with more urgency to maintain contain. The outside guys have to come up with more urgency and fill and force the run back inside sooner, and D. Winters gets too aggressive to fill his gap too early and isn't in pursuit. Then, a terrible tackling job by Jason Pinnock finishes it off. Then back on offense, so many of the issues we're seeing preventing this offense from putting up the points they should be is lack of production from the run game. Here, this is a wide zone and the defense has a nose tackle. Brendel most likely made a solo call to Colby, which means Brendel is going to try and help over on Pooney's guy and then work up to the second level. That would have Colby take the nose solo and wash him down. Trent will take the 4-eye tech and wash him down, and that would also allow Tonjes to get up on the second level, with Farrell coming across in a kick out. That would set up McCaffrey to attack the point, draw the linebackers down to help set up those blocks, and then cut it up inside. But Colby gets confused. You can see he doesn't work down the line to the nose with nearly enough urgency. Gets beat into the backfield, and the lane is there for a big gain, but it's a tackle in the backfield. Then we'll talk about the interception because this is so frustrating. Okay, so we have to go back to the opening script drive. We start out with a slide concept. It's a movement pass where you fake a wide zone one direction, then come with a 3-level pass the opposite way. So why do you run this as the opening play? Here's what they're looking for. They're looking for how many of these defenders take their eyes off the run fake and work to the reverse pass. So we come out with it again, and this time we're going to slowly leak Luke Farrell out the backside. So on the sideline, they're looking at this on the stills between plays and series, and no one takes him. So for a third time on the drive, we come out with it again, and we have Pearsall going vertical. Again, they're going to look at how many eyes are on CMC after the play fake. Okay, so now we get to the pick. We're going to try and run a play we call Hiccup. This will look like a wide zone into our slide concept, but we're running a corner post deep and have McCaffrey leak out after the run fake. But the timing is just not there. Trent's got to finish this fake a little bit better as his man is going to hold up McCaffrey a little bit and delay him from getting out. Then I can't say for certain that this is why the ball is thrown the way it is, but usually this play is run much more down the numbers, and McCaffrey is trying to now run away from the outside corner, and so the ball gets thrown too high and a little outside. It could also be Purdy's toe bothering him. It could also have been the pressure because the play took too long to develop. It could be all of it, but it's a tough turnover when the team needed to not turn it over. Then, though, the defense had an opportunity to get off the field after the pick and a penalty without giving up points, and this was a play that broke the defense for the drive. It also is important to note that Kyle Shanahan originally wanted to decline the penalty, go into a huddle against third down, and that ended up not happening because of a mistake by the referees, and so this ended up being a third down off of a no huddle. We're in cover 6, so it's cover 2 to the 3 receiver side, cover 4 to the 2 receiver side. The Jags are running a double post concept, and this is partly the defense getting caught in that no huddle. This is a tough spot for Marquise Siegel. Siegel also needs to keep this a little more inside, and we also generate no pressure, again, because you aren't able to get the full call in. And this is a questionable catch. Back on offense after giving up a touchdown on defense, we have a missed opportunity to convert on third down. We're running Tonjes on a pull basic and McCaffrey on a short underneath to put the defense in a vertical stretch. The Jags are in cover 6, and we're just seeing an issue with this offense that they're struggling creating space most of the places. The only player that's drawing attention really is CMC, but there still is a window and Purdy overthrows it. He's trying to make these layered throws over and over again and on a bad toe, and this is just when the offense can look so frustrating. There's not a lot of space being created, there's a reliance on the intermediate areas too much, and when the run game and pass game can't get cohesive, the 49ers offense looks like everything is hard. So back on defense though, we see a nice adjustment by Saleh on the next third down. Here we're showing a shell look and the Jags are running a dagger plus double in concept. They want to clear it out with the streak, then put a hook player or underneath in a horizontal stretch. At the snap, we drop into cover 3 buzz, which allows the deep safety to take the streak, Pinnock to key to pick up the first deep in, and Warner sitting up the second deep in, and Lawrence has to check it down, and it's nearly picked off by Fred Warner. Back on offense, we get the drive going with a big conversion on third down. We're running a Chevy concept at the bottom, and to the top, it's an arrow route with a basic route. Here, the Jags are manning up the 2 receiver side and playing a 4/3 with the backside safety cross keying. This is where I'd like to see Purdy hold the backside safety a little longer. He makes the right read, the underneath hook sits, and this is a high level anticipation throw, and he puts it in a low spot to protect Tonjes. It just starts to feel like the defense just isn't worried about a lot of the receiving options for this team when they're sitting on these routes like this. But when you see them splitting the field so hard, this is a nice trick play to take advantage. We're going to run Ricky on an in route to the 2 receiver side. You can see how the strong side of the Jags defense widens hard at the snap, which allows them to get the defense flowing inside on Ricky, and Tonjes is able to get the block to get McCaffrey a decent gain. Then the red zone issues come up again. We're trying to run an inside zone and Ricky isn't able to get to his block. The guards get stood up and the edge crashes so hard we can't get a kick out. There's just no room being generated on these runs. So now we're going to work the passing game. We'll run Tonjes up the seam, McCaffrey on a choice out, and Jennings on a stick china. The idea is to move the seam defender vertical, widen the underneath flat defender, and open up a void for Jennings. It works. Both Purdy and Jennings would both want this back. Purdy probably was too worried about the seam defender coming over and tried to put this ball low and only where Jennings could get it, but he could have put it right on him. Jennings would probably say he's got to make that catch. It's another missed opportunity. Then we're going to come with Jennings on a basic route, Tonjes on a stick route, where he'll sit down versus zone, and McCaffrey on a flat route. It's a horizontal stretch. The Jags are in cover 4 to that side, and so we should have the 2 underneath defenders in a horizontal stretch. Purdy is reading the mic, and not sure if he feels like the mic doesn't commit. Usually he's making an anticipation throw, but the window's being tight, he wants to see Jennings pop open first, but Colby is being driven back into Purdy, and he has to bail the pocket. But the team did get a field goal before half and were expecting to be the last team to score before halftime, but a big return given up on the kickoff allows Jacksonville to score. Here, this is just poor execution. The Jaguars are loaded up for a return to the defense's left. This is why Pinheiro is going to kick it to the right. They want to crash down where there's only 3 blockers against 5 defenders. So Ron Neal and Tatum Bethune have to work to force this return back to the unblocked guys. They don't, and they don't get to the hole in time, and Jair Brown is way too passive to fill the hole and doesn't even slow down the return guy. It's nearly a touchdown given up. So since it's halftime in the game, a quick break to thank all of our members of JFA49.com. Your direct support makes videos like this possible, and I truly appreciate it so much. As many of you know, the NFL is making videos like this impossible to monetize. You may see ads on them, but those are going to the NFL. If you like the channel and the content, please consider becoming a member of the website, JFA49.com, or our Patreon, with support tiers from $2 a month to $15 a month. We need anywhere from 50 to 100 new members to offset what the NFL has taken. The links for that are in the description below, and thank you for your time, and back to the film. But after the half, the defense does get a nice stop on 3rd down in the run game. I'm going to show more of this from the All-22 because the end zone is hard to see Micah Williams. He does a fantastic job setting his edge and condensing it, driving the tackle into the run. Then we get what was probably Brock's best throw of the day. It's a skinny route off play action, which is a 7-step post route. This is high level anticipation into the first window with big time accuracy. The next play we get a good gain, and as I've watched the game, I'm consistently finding it hard to judge. Were some of the throws from Brock sailing due to the toe? Are receivers just a little off from where he's expecting them to be? Or is it a mixture of it and being asked to make so many layered throws? Here we're running a play called skid option. It's 2 widened skinner routes, 2 flat routes, and an option route by Tonjes that can sit down or have a two-way go at 5 yards. Against a single safety, the read is on the skinner routes to hit the opposite of which side the safety shades to, and against cover 2, the option route is the primary. In the drop back, it's a single safety in man coverage, and Brock reads the lurk squatting, so he rips to Jennings. If we go back to the beginning of the route, Jennings got jammed up at the line, and this is one of the challenges with a timing-based offense. Brock's superpower is how he can throw with great anticipation. It can get you a bunch of big explosives. It can also put more on your receivers to be where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. Brock is layering this throw to a spot, but we'd have to hear from Brock and Jennings directly to know exactly if Jennings is just not quite in the right spot at the right time, or if Brock just sailed his pass a little bit. I do know the route running has not been crisp and precise so far. Tonjes is supposed to sit this down at 5 yards. He sits it down at 7. That may seem trivial, but when you have condensed fields already, that clogs up already smaller windows even more. We then get a touchdown on a shovel pass. I love this call and the design. The run fake into what looks like a Y banana draws 3 zone defenders away. Then a vertical from Tonjes draws in underneath as well as sets Tonjes up to block the safety. And even without those blocks being made, McCaffrey still makes it in for the score. Back on defense, D. Winters comes up with a huge pass breakup on 3rd down to get the ball back. This is an incredible job. So we're showing this muddy mug front we often do on 3rd down and making it look like man coverage. The Jaguars send the tight end in a widened motion right before the snap, which does give Lawrence a tell that this will be zone as Luter widens with the tight end. They're running a Tony concept, which if you've watched the channel is something you'll be familiar with a protection release fade paired with a Tony route. We're in cover 4 zone, so Luter has to carry the vertical, and that puts D. Winters matched up on Parker Washington, a wide receiver, on a quick out. Winters plays this so well, he has to play this inside out. He can't give up a quick slant, so he establishes leverage in his zone, then when the receiver commits on the out route, he undercuts it. How many linebackers are able to undercut an out route by a wide receiver? But back on offense, things go awry with another interception. We're trying to hit Jennings on a drift route. I've seen a lot made that Purdy didn't see a linebacker sitting underneath. This route is coached to find the hole, and I think Purdy is going to sit Jennings down in between the numbers and the hash. He said he saw the linebacker squat on CMC, which is what triggered the throw, and he said he knew it was a tight window throw. I'm not going to say for 100% either way that this would or wouldn't have been picked. It was going to be a tight window, and we don't see the play with how the ball was meant to be thrown. We only see it by how it was tipped at the line, and that was surely intercepted. But back on defense, the Jaguars only net 3 points out of it when the defense holds strong. Here, Jacksonville is trying to hit a speedo concept, which is a clearing route paired with a high crossing route. We show cover 4, but end up in cover 3 buzz, where Pinnock is waiting on the high crossing route, and D. Winters picks up a shallow cross that then has to sit down and work back as the play develops, and Warner is able to suffocate the underneath. It's another unfortunate break for the 49ers as Warner forces the fumble and Jacksonville recovers. Back on offense, we have a really costly drop. Jacksonville is showing a muddy mug look pre-snap with 4 shell behind it. They're actually going to bluff blitz, dropping 8 men into coverage with 3 deep, 4 underneath, and a middle zone guy to pick up a high crossing route that we run a ton of. We're running Robinson on a far corner route, which is a route running to the far end zone pylon on a direct path. We have Jennings on a deep in, or what Kyle calls a Dover, and Kendrick Bourne on a stick China. Some of this is just so hard to swallow. Jacksonville is coming with a 3-man rush. We have a 6-man protection, with McCaffrey also on a check and release, and Purdy gets pressured early. He still finds the void created by Robinson's far corner and the attention to CMC, and he drops a pass into Bourne, who has a ton of room to run, but it's dropped. Then, to double up on a bad sequence, the next play the 49ers give up a punt return for a touchdown. This is hard because we're going to see a definite block in the back, a pretty sure block in the back, and then a maybe block in the back. There's an argument for 3 blocks in the back. I want to blame special teams more there, but when 3 guys are getting blocked in the back, that's tough. Back on offense though, we do get another touchdown to make it a close game down the stretch off a really well-timed screen. The Jags are coming with a run blitz off the edge and rolling 4 over 3 to the strong side. This puts the backside in one-on-one coverage where Sky Moore is able to run his man off, and you get 2 blockers on 1 defender, with Pooney also coming out, and Tonjes is able to rumble in for the score. Then the defense held strong and we got the ball back. Then this is just bad football on 4th and 2. We're running a good man coverage beater here, and the Jaguars are in cover 1 man with a short lurk defender and a deep zone defender. We're running a play that Kyle calls cross basic. Now normally what Jennings is going to run here would actually be a rail route, and it's the primary, but what he's going to end up doing is running a quick out. You're just trying to get a couple yards on 4th and 2. Then you run a mesh concept over the middle with Jake Tonjes running across, and then McCaffrey leaking out. This is to create mesh traffic to get a pick play against man coverage. Then you have Robinson on a basic route. So Jennings is number 1, McCaffrey is number 2, Robinson is number 3. At the snap, Jennings ends up giving up his chest, which allows him to get pressed. You can see Brock is looking that direction, and that's where he wants to go with the ball, but it's not there. So then he goes to move to McCaffrey, but Jake Tonjes tried to run underneath the lurk defender. I think he's trying to do this because he's trying to avoid offensive PI, but it's within the first 5 yards and he's being contacted down. So this traffic would be legal, but he ends up getting jammed into Christian McCaffrey. So Brock has moved through 1 and 2, and now there's a lurk defender sitting over, and he's going to try and layer this throw over into Robinson as his number 3, and the ball sails too high. This is just bad football. You have plays that are there to be made, you have the right calls against them, but this is just sloppy execution. But after a missed field goal by the Jaguars, we are able to get a chance to win the game, and another turnover pretty much ends it. We're trying to run a heat concept. This is Kyle's version of a Yankee stop. The play would have been there, but this is a gutsy call by Jacksonville. They come with cover 0 with a linebacker on a rush and spy on Purdy. The blitz forces Purdy off of his spot and the pocket gets chaotic. Purdy is trying to get the ball out in a chaotic pocket to Tonjes, who was open before the window closes, but Armstead is able to get in for the strip. All in all, it was an extremely frustrating game and one that felt like the 49ers should have won. They have a short week to prepare for a big divisional game and will be short-handed again as the injuries just keep piling up. They need the extended rest after this game to get healthy. The team has 18 guys either on PUP, injured reserve, or the injury report limited or not participating in practice. It's just too hard to win that way, and something has to be fixed in that area. But hope you found the video at least enlightening. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to hit the notifications button to be alerted to when a video goes live. But until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and go Niners.